A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from all of you. And so here I have already shared, oh yeah, Claudia, 9 a.m. in the US. So it's all different time. Right. So here, uh, as we are on our journey to complete the, I'll speak with the English accent, yeah, rather than the Chinese pronunciation, which I'm also equally quite bad at it. So we are on the journey of the Yuan Hai Zi Ping. And please, at any time, please do feel free to ask questions, put it into the chat as always. And I know you are too polite to actually use your mic. So please, at any time. Right, so I have already shared with you all the materials up to, I believe, we have already done all the way down to the chapter 13. So last week, which was not recorded, was on the associated sounds, associated sounds. So a bit of a recap before we move on, and then the materials have been shared with you for the rest. Today's sharing will be just to start off with a little bit of associated sounds, or what we call na yin. Basically, na has in Chinese means to receive or to give, to receive or to give, and yin represents sound. It represents vibration. It represents wave, and so essentially uh, it represents sound. Sound. Sound has in vibration, sound has in music. And therefore, if we trace back to uh, what we consider to be the Buddhist chants, the Tibetan, the singing bowl, the singing bowl, and the vibrations and the use of crystals for healing. And so that's where some of them will take their body of knowledge from this concept of Nayi, which essentially means that behind every element represents a frequency, represents a frequency. Now, if you just search even on Google and you put there, how many types of musical tones are there? So in Western music, there are 12. There are 12 musical tones. So each represents an earthly branch. So each branch represents can be represented by a musical tone. And if you look into the Eastern music, they have five platonic tones. And so these five platonic tones continue with the roots in the sacred geometry, whereby these are the shapes, and the shapes are represented by each of these elements. And each element will have its own frequency, its own code. And so with the code, we do hope that certain vibrations or frequency will resonate closely with you. But please do not pick the frequency based on your chart. Do not do not have the same frequency as your chart. That's not what it should mean. Because here in physics, when you have the same frequency, you essentially create resonance. Resonance basically is fu yin. Fu yin. Therefore, you do not wish to have your own frequency. So what frequency would you go for? So here in chapter 13, we would like to find out, no? We would like to find out what are the associated frequencies. And the frequencies, usually these will then be used for spiritual healing, for even music, even in playing music or chanting, or if you're looking for one of those Tibetan singing bowl, and you would like to know which tone would you like, or which is your favorable tone, in order to provide to calm you down, so to speak. Therefore, here we then move on into so with that we then move on into the Shenjia. Okay, so as we come along, the materials shared with you in the folder have also included all this. Have also included all this. They are very simple and they are based on certain calculations that we don't really use today, and therefore it's up in the folder. Feel free to read it if you like. Right. So here, as we move along, we would like now to come to today's sharing, which will be on chapter 22 and 23. So on chapter 22 and so on, until the end actually, right until you can say that possibly right until chapter 48. So from today's chapter right until chapter 48 can be put into a category that is called shen. Shen basically would then be the useful elements, and sha would then be the harmful elements. Therefore, we look for usually what we call useful and what is harmful. Right. And so by associating this, we can then help in two things. Number one is read the natal chart, and secondly, also to look into feng shui activation, or basically solution. Oh, Claudia, you mentioned about chapter 19, 20, 21. I just uploaded. If you just look at it later, it should be up there, yeah, Claudia? If not, then you can just message me again, yeah? All right. Okay, so now as you go into uh, one of the more critical which is then known as noble people. So this would be then be called, there are few types of noble people. 贵人. Normally we just call him 贵人. So 贵人, 人 has in people, and 贵 normally means noble, in the nobility. And so one can always address a noble person, as in 贵人. So this 贵人, I'll just call it 贵人, will then be what we deem to be the element that represents helpful people. So they represents helpful. As they represent helpful, they are helpful to you. Therefore, they are deemed to be useful. But bear in mind, being useful doesn't mean that they are nice to you. So noble people need not be friendly, courteous. I mean, imagine there's this popular TV show, they call it Shark Tank. So Shark Tank is where people will come, entrepreneurs will come onto this platform to pitch for their business ideas, and they would like investors to come in. Therefore, these investors represents mentors. They represents your mentors. They represents people who can teach you, who can guide you, or basically to shape you, to shape you. And therefore, the useful people will be tremendously an important element. And so to read this definition for 贵人, there will be two types. And so here we look at, what do we look at? We look into the pillar, and we look into the stems. And when I say stems here, I would then mean we look into both the year stem and also the day stem. So year stem and day stem. Traditionally, they started looking only on the year stem. But later, of course, Zhi Ping's work is where they begin to move it, or begin to discover that the day stem becomes more pivotal. So here, usually, it is more common for many more practitioners today to look at the day stem, basically the day master. So as you look into the day master, and then here we would like to consider then what are the branches that represents the query. There are two. In the first part, we start off with the yin. We start off with the yin. Now the yin querent will then start from the first pillar, which is jia. Now, if you look into jia, which is the rat, basically this would be midnight. Midnight. Therefore, its yin has it starts at the darkest of the night, at midnight. So yin will start at midnight, and has yin has zhi, it will then move backwards. It will move backwards in what we may then deem to be an anti-clockwise. It moves backwards to anti-clockwise. So if you look into it, see, the next after rat would be cho, which is ox. Therefore, we can then say the starting point is ox. The starting point is ox. So ox essentially would be the first element or the first branch after the rat. So it's considered to be the element after the rat hour. Funny as it may be, this is just the way they have calculated. So it started with the ox and then it moved backwards. So ox, rat, pig, and so on. So it moved backwards. It moved backwards. All the animals. And then for the case of the yang, for the case of the yang, it will be jiao, as in the horse. As you know, the horse is then right in the afternoon. Right in the afternoon. As is right in the afternoon, the rat, the horse, and so the first element after the horse is the goat. Is the goat, and therefore it will then be clockwise. It will be clockwise into it. So anyway, this is not so important, but at least if you understand its origin on how it is calculated, then at least if you don't have this table, if this table is not available to you at the time of reading, you can then, well, basically recreate it. Well, back those days, the ancients will use their fingers and then they will start tapping their fingers and start counting to the to where it is. But anyway, normally today we have computers, we have tables, so more or less today practitioners no longer learn how to count or how to figure out what would be which is which, the yin and the yang. All right, so in a way, each of the day master has one yin and one yang. So I'm going to take a look into a chart by one of the past U.S. presidents, which may be considered to be lucky, has it survived an assassination attempt. You can take a look into the chart right now of Ronald Reagan. So Ronald Reagan is the 40th U.S. president. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at this chart. Into the chart, first and foremost, he was born in the year of the sin metal, the year of the sin metal. So as you look into the chart, what would be sin metal? What would be sin metal? What would be the sin metal? Yin, Tian Yi Gui Ren, and also the Yang, Tian Yi Gui Ren. So into this part. So therefore, that would be the horse and the tiger. Horse and now, if you observe very carefully, there are two branches missing. There are two branches missing here, and definitely, without fail, you will not have this, and that would be the dog and the dragon. The dog and the So the dog and the dragon, they are not. So nowhere will you find dogs and dragon to be Aquarius for this case. You won't find. And this year is the year of the dragon. So this year will then be a year where there will be no arrival of Aquarius for anyone. Therefore, the dog and the dragons are skipped. Why? Well, basically based on the constellation, the purple constellation as we look at it, these two are in inauspicious or unfavorable location. Okay, never mind that. That is basically some computational explanation behind why dogs and dragons are out. But anyway, as you can also remember, dogs and dragons are often free kongs, by the way. So they are all in a different category. All right, so here we will come in to consider that Ronald Reagan, the 40th US president, born in the year of the sin metal, would have horse and tiger, horse and tiger. So as you look in this chart, do we find horse and do we find tiger? Do we find horse or do we find tiger? So we find tiger. So we find tiger in the hour and also in it. And this would represent the yang. So this represents the yang, the yang. Tip, right, yang. Yang usually means daytime. Yang means daytime. Yang, of course, also means male. Therefore, as you read that, it would mean that there are helpful people, male, helpful people, male, and of course during the daytime where he would have this, would have. So sometimes these are your guardian angels, and having this normally represents that you are lucky. You feel lucky because there's a greater chances of meeting the right people at the right time, so to speak. These are the helpful people. Very good, big boy. You can able to also notice what that the pig and the tiger combines to form. Has it combined to form wood? Would it be permissible? Would it be permissible? We also find that the tiger and the pig also have a destruction. Right? So there's also a destruction, also a punishment. Therefore, this would be both a punishment and a combination that can happen together. All right, so this would be taking a look into the chart. And now we consider that Ronald Reagan was born as a Ting Fire Day Master. Now, once again, the moment is a Ting Fire or a fire person. Hour is fantastic, right on the dot. Born in the hour of the tiger, which is 3 to 5. So right pitch dark to the dead night. Therefore, fantastic. Fantastic. So in that case, this would be a fire day master, strong and rooted. Strong and rooted. And of course, born right in the season, this would have a very good chart together with the noble, to be the born with the noble. All right. The thing wait, no, oh, I see. Okay, paper is fantastic because it's a thing day master with a thing root, right? Therefore, this becomes a Rockwell goat blade to other people. To whom? To the pink fire people. To the pink fire people. Okay. Right, fantastic. So if I am a pink fire day master, you should not go against this person. Oh, that's very interesting. Maybe I'll see who was the candidate, who was the presidential candidate running against him at that time. Because if his competitors will fight against him, if they are pink fire, then they are bound to lose. Because Rockwell Goldblade is the kryptonite, kryptonite to the Superman, in a way. Right. Therefore, that's very see very fast, I guess after spending some time now, your eyes move very fast, very quickly to immediately see all the relationships that you can then find. Right? No, he's a GF. He's a GF, Donald Trump is a GF. Don't no, I mean oh, no, he's not the contestant for he's not the what do you call it, the competitor, the opposing candidate at that time. Yeah, this was okay. So anyway, so Ronald Reagan is a Rockwell Goldblade person with heavily nobleman. It's gonna be good. And so now, as you look into the think, sorry, look into the think fire. So as you look into think fire, where is think fire? So think fire now, where is think fire stem? So think fire stem would be here. So whereby the yin and the yang. So therefore, that will be the pig and the rooster. The pig and the rooster. Sorry, the pig and the rooster. So coming back to his chart, do we find pig? Yeah, so we do find pig. So essentially, this would be the Essentially, this would be his so-called nobleman. So having nobleman from young until late, whole life, with the exception, of course, of the day pillar. So that would be quite a very good set of charts, a very strong day master with nobleman. And also, as you can look into the luck pillar, so as we try to explore all the various luck pillar, we can then find where the arrival of this pillar may also be, as you can consider. Okay, so essentially, as we were looking earlier, you can find, sorry, where was it? We have your, so the horse and the tiger, pig and the rooster, horse and the tiger, pig and the rooster. So horse and the pig and the rooster, pig and the rooster. So this would represent the arrival of noble people, the external noble people. So at least for today, the chart we can read. Okay, so as we add on more and more layer, from what we have covered, we have also looked into the 10 gods, the interaction of it. And so now we have yet another dimension of looking into the nobleman. So what can we say about the nobleman? What are the manifestation and the phenomena? Okay, so first we identify how to compute. And of course, now we can just simply refer to the chart. But of course, if you do not happen to have the chart or you can't place it out, then this would be the calculation method. So yes, I think you saw that there is a depth and emptiness in the hour, isn't it? So depth and emptiness usually represents a weakened pillar. As a weakened pillar, its effect is then substantially reduced. Reduced. Therefore, it will not be the strength of it will be reduced. Just mostly that's I consider that. All right. So gone are the days you need to start using your fingers to calculate. Nowadays, you can just use the chart. And now, let's take a look into the significance of this. So the significance of this indicate that with nobleman, we are expecting to find the person receiving a prestigious position, high status. A prestigious position, high status. So we consider it to be a promotion or an elevation in status. It would mean that there's presence of guardian angels, protector, and people who can support you as it is. Right. So therefore, it is considered to be lucky, considered to be of good luck, considered to be one where the potential for success is greater on the arrival of all this as it is. Okay, and move along. So we can consider. So very simple. Don't ever say dragon and dog to be one of them. They are not. They are not. So just to consider that. And in all simplicity, it would just brings about that. Just consider that it's highly auspicious and it's. But bear in mind, of course, having that doesn't guarantee its effectiveness will be diminished if it falls into an unfavorable position or negatively affected. So negatively affected would be clash or destruction or punishment that we have covered. So of course, clashes and punishment may negatively affect it. It may be an unfavorable position. Maybe it has certain harmful elements into it. So if you want to consider, and therefore its effectiveness will be there. But usually it will just mean that there is an absence of noblemen, rather than uh, any factor. Means that the nobleman may not be useful. But sometimes it may just mean that in an unfavorable position, the nobleman that they have is normally unkind. Normally unkind. Unkind indicates that the lesson is bitter. Basically, we may have a nobleman that is someone that you dislike a lot, someone that actually antagonizes you, somebody that a bad boss perhaps, and that experience leaves you bitter, leaves you a bit disappointed, traumatized a bit. But then, of course, at the end of the day, it helps you. Right now, Janice, we can say that the day master is Ting Mao. So nobleman is rooster and pig. Yeah, possibly that might be the case. Yes, you're right. So therefore, you're saying that what you're trying to say is, yeah, let me just put it to the point. So what you're trying to say is that you have Ting, Ting Mao. Okay, so you have Ting Mao. Then, of course, if there is the nobleman, so just for the benefit of all, if you're a Ting, so if you're a Ting, then of course it will be your rooster and your and of course if the luck pillar is rooster, isn't it? You say luck pillar. Then yes, then you can fight. That if it's a rooster, then there might be a bit of a clash. So the nobleman clashing to the so the arrival of the nobleman, so the arrival of the nobleman clashes with the spouse, clashes with the spouse or clashes. Correct. It will still be a nobleman somehow. It will still be a nobleman. It's just that this nobleman effect will be somewhat unpleasant. Somewhat unpleasant. Usually, nobleman arrival of it brings the final result is positive. The final result. The journey may be unpleasant. Journey may be unpleasant. Therefore, that may be the case of how one can consider the kind of nobleman that in all of this. Right. So if it's unfavorable, effectiveness can be diminished. Right. So that's just really about the art. And we normally consider, of course, if people are born with the query in the chart, in the chart. So we're not referring to external, we are referring to internal, internal. Then when we consider that they do have these following characteristics. Well, in all simplicity, having coherent in the chart means better luck, better access to promotions and to escalation. So therefore, they have to be a leader. Because for you to be promoted to a position of a leader, for you to have the chance to be elevated to a high position, naturally, if you have coherent in the chart, it then manifests that you have that leadership potential as well. Okay, and this potential is likable, likable. As the opposite to the Hui Kongs. Hui Kongs are also hard to kill. They are also commander. These are the commander stars. They too can rise to the top, but mostly by their own skills. They are fearless, but they tend to be lonely. Hui Kongs are lonely creatures because they are feared. They are feared. They too reach to the top, but their journey is different from the Queren. Then the nice one, the nice one, the likable one, the one where it takes care of people and so on. So these are just to contrast the characteristics of what kind of leaders that the person can bring about. Okay, so they gain public appreciation. Right now, having helpful people, basically you do have a get out of jail card. You have that get out of jail. You have a free pass. No? Free pass. Do not go to jail. Get out of jail. Get out of jail kind of a scenario. So indicating that when a person runs into trouble, runs into legal issues, then you have that full person who can then arrange for certain things. Then rightfully, as also mentioned just now, it is weakened by emptiness. So weakened by clashes, or whether it's in a weak position usually means season. Season. If it is a weak season, the season is weak. Therefore, then the useful persons, the grade of it will be lower. All right. So having this querent would then mean that sometimes the reading for harm punishment can be mitigated. It can. Right. It can also be auspicious when it's combined together, and therefore that would be so in the past, not so much of now in the reading, but to consider that it may be considered to be better that it can dispel some of the negative influences. So this belief essentially means that it actually means that one may read that because these two are essentially the coherent, then the destructive element may not be read. So therefore, it may be argued that the destructive element is dispelled. So it say, okay, maybe we will see that it won't be too great an impact, too great an impact. Right. So therefore, that's just the way read to read the application for in relation to the today's sharing on this particular. All right. And now let's just take a look into yet an example here. So the example given in the text. So this is the example in text. Of course, the text was written so long ago that the samples are more dated than that. So here, born in the year 5 BC, we have one of the early founders of the Han Dynasty. So for this would be the chart. And for this chart, we can then read what would be the chart. Okay, now, again, as we then consider if it is Yi, if it is Yi wood. Now, if it is Yi wood, what would be the sign? If it is Yi wood, step. So if it is Yi wood, then what would it be? If it is Yi wood, then according to the chart, Yi would be rat and monkey. Rat and monkey. So the rat and monkey. Okay. So the rat and the monkey. So that's a rat. So right hit on the day pillar would be the, so for that would be the rat. Okay. And then we have the jia. And then we have the jia, which is the ox and the goat, the oxen. The oxen. So the ox. And for this, unlike Ronald Reagan, where all his querents are yang, for this emperor, both the querents are yin. So these are the yin. So yin means nighttime, it means nighttime, or it means female. Therefore, the helpful, noble people will be the females that can play an important role. So it will be the female, and also can be read at night time, or when somehow the arrangement comes into. Right. So therefore, having these two, may consider again, it falls into the career pillar and so on. paper here says rat and ox combo. Rats and ox combined together. Yes, so therefore there's a combo. Right, this combination of these two heavenly stars would then be excellent. Excellent because two coherents combined together would then also amplify. It will be an amplification of the coherent now of the coherent. Yeah, so therefore that would be just looking and eat mouth. Okay, wow. Right after Rockwell Goblet, very quick to recognize that this is Rockwell Goblet. Uh, Rockwell Goblet is also fantastic because it gives you the power to screw up other people's life. All right. Therefore, that would be into it as well. Wow, this is a nasty person. Must have killed a lot of people. Rat and uncivilized punishment. Correct. Therefore, that's okay. Tumultuous. So quite a tumultuous life. Rockwell Goldblade for three pillars. Must have butchered and killed his way to gain power, and also combined together. Elevation. Therefore, this would be the Emperor Code. Okay, so as we try to read along, and what's relevant for this chart. So as usual, when we read, we get the day master, got born in the season. So this will be Chia Wood born in winter, where wood is strong. And we also find that there's also wood, got an ample amount of wood, wood is strong. Quite a lot of wood you can find. Ye wood here, and then with the Chia Wood there. As this. All right, fantastic. And therefore, of course, here we will consider that in terms of today's topic on Queren, we have Chou, which is in a month, and Water in a day branches. Right. Therefore, this would be where the mutual exchange. So the mutual exchange will be considered to be extremely auspicious. Extremely. And the earthly branches. So the earthly branches, what would be the earthly branches in a way we can consider that there is a bit of a flow because here we can see that after the after here we have the rat. So we have the rat. Then we have your so-called the ox. Then followed by your tiger. Then followed by your rabbit. So in a way, this four is like not exactly a flow, but the pillars are all adjacent. So they're all adjacent pillars. So the adjacent pillars, this may be considered to be also strong connectivity. Strong connectivity. And this connectivity was also mentioned in your in chapter number 21. So 21 talks about adjacent, just about adjacent branches. Very simple, small topic. Just a small topic about the adjacent branches. And therefore here, because in the earlier chapter, they referred to the adjacent branches. So here, straight up, they then talk about the adjacent branches. So the wood is strong, and here we'll consider that the key element, of course, is the pink fire. The pink fire comes in to be a useful element as well. So the anyway, this will be just to look into just a very quick one, just quick one. And of course, consider that in his early life destiny, uh, so in the early life at the age of 9, 9 was the water peak, the water peak. So water peak is considered to be unfavorable. So this in the year of the water peak is considered to be unfavorable because here born in winter with water being strong and big, and therefore excessive water would not be favorable, especially for childhood born in winter, born in winter. Therefore, consider it. And then, of course, with the luck pillar of Ping Shi to be the useful god at the age of 28, then considered to be prominent to start his campaign. Therefore, in the chart, we consider that the pink fire would represent the favorable. This would be the favorable luck pillar because it's useful god. The useful element would then be pink fire. Normally, for useful god, one of the key measures would be temperature. The, the temperature for the person. Right. Therefore, this would be to look into how the query comes in. Right. As we take a look into the next, now let's come into continue to yet another type of noble people. In this noble people here, and now this is the earlier one is the Tian Yi, the Tian Yi nobleman, but now this one is the Tian Guan nobleman. And for the Tian Guan nobleman, it's the heavily official noble. And so as we look into this would then be the particular step. So this calculation is primarily for those in the birth year, and therefore for the birth year, this would be both year or day step, but normally the preference nowadays is for the day. So we look into the following. And so consider to be, and this is for what purpose is this? This is for your official success and also the same for career advancement. And so as you consider it. Well, it comes in to be that each of them has different aspects, a very, very different aspect of this. And the aspect can be related to the 10 gods in a way. Let's say, for example, what this year is the year of the dragon. This year is the year of the dragon. And so when it comes to dragon, we do see that there is dragon and there is also dog. So this is different from earlier. So what is dragon? What is dragon to? What is dragon to the Yit? What is dragon to a Yitwood Damas? And that would be Rockwell. That would be Rockwell. Therefore, that would be Rockwell because of the Jawood supporting to the Yit. Of course, here if you can find uh, uh, what would be, for example, way to the Jawood, and that would be actually wealth, wealth. So as you look into the 10 gods, as we explore all the various 10 gods, this is where the 10 gods can give the prediction about what kind of success, what kind of reward, what kind of reward would you expect? Would you expect to receive? That comes in. So whether is it money, is it wealth, or is it output? Is it output or creativity? Is it output or creativity that comes into it? Therefore, this would be also look into the 10 quad. And of course, if it is the peak, what will be the peak produces to the keng? Therefore, this one will also be out. Because the keng day master will find that water, rainwater basically would be your output. Yeah, so this will be one of the how the Shencha reads into it as well. All right, so this will be just looking into the first chapter. I guess with the first chapter, now we come into the next chapter. Very quickly, we come into the following. The interpretation is not too complex. It's not a very, very complex interpretation. But now here comes to the part. So basically, by the time we are done, all the 12 animals will be in relation to the day master. And now this one here, we refer to also nobleman, query. But this will be Tai Chi, which means supreme noble people. In a supreme noble people, the reading goes into the following. As it goes into the following, as we read along, this will be what will be considered again. If it appears in the chart, what are the possible? Once again, it has to deal with helpful people. Again, it's the same query. Now, these are very much about advancement. But here comes the further reading that it can be different. And therefore, now we refer to, now all this refers to the year. It refers to the year. And as we refer to this year being the year of the dragon, so this year of dragon, those people who are born in the year of the dragon, those who are born in the year of the dragon, but for those who are born in the year of the dragon, how the query can help to achieve that and the following. Also, we can just refer to the reading to the chart. So anyway, one can consider that there are more preferences. So having said that, while we are sharing all this literature on Shensha, we can find that Shensha and the Ten Gods are actually two different branches. We have covered the Ten Gods, and now these are the Shensha. So they do fall into different interpretation or reading. So therefore, usually we do find that today we try to blend in. We do blend in and combine them together. But to say that there are certain differences in the way that we read for them as well. So anyway, for this chapter, as we go along, there are also other interpretation. Which will that mean when we come into? So this will be called the Tai Chi. Tai Chi. So one by one, we can then consider the interpretation as you can go along the 12. Right. So let's just go ahead. Let's just read on the okay, and here you can also find the origin story. I think nowadays not many would be interested to cover the origin, just a bit more about try to explain why those branches are being read. Come, let's finish off with this particular chart and let's take a look into how this is read. And of course, Ping's book, written so long ago, will continue to cover very ancient historical figures. So this is yet one of them. And so this emperor from the Ming dynasty as a day master, born in autumn. Week, so the month pillar is a 7 killing. And therefore, having 7 killing usually means that his power is controlled by others, because 7 killing represents an officer star. Therefore, reading that this represents 7 killing. Power was controlled by others. Although there's rainwater, so there's rainwater on the stem, and also the red representing water, transform. Horse and rat clash, correct? So there is, so there is a horse who fire clashes with the rat, fantastic, damaging the useful elements. So we consider that that water represents a useful element, and therefore you are right. You are right. Okay, we'll come again to consider. This emperor is born in the year of the Qi Earth. Born in the year of the Qi. Is born in the year of the Qi Earth. What would be born in the year of the Qi Earth? Is very different. Then born in the year of the Qi Earth, the four seasonal branches would be the tiger, snake, monkey, and pig. Tiger, snake, monkey, and pig. And whether do we find snake, monkey, pig? None of the growth star. There's none of the growth star. And of course, we also find we also find that the day master is Jia. So if your born has a Jia day master, then you also have the rat and the rat. So the rat and the horse. The rat and the horse. And therefore, with the Jia, so the Jia, the rat and the horse. The rat and the horse would then be the noble, noble. So horse and the rat clash. Then you, of course, you have the rooster and the rat destruction. Fantastic. So you have more than how many peach blossom stars does this guy have? This guy have 3 peach blossom stars. That's not going to go very well with personal and marital relationship. Come into it. All right. So what happens here is that from the reading, from the reading of the chart, like what Pei Pei also mentioned, there's a horse and rat clash. There's a horse and rat clash. There is a rooster and rat destruction, and 3 peach blossom stars, and it's contrary. So with all this, it may depict, that. So all these things will depict that, especially born in 7 killing, that is negative, an element being clashed. So this chart has this failure within success kind of a reading. Has a failure within success kind of a reading, indicating that this chart has a lot of problems. But of course, now here comes to the part where it says that, but however, from the perspective whereby the rat and the horse represents the noble, and within the rat and the horse, it represents beginning and the end. Beginning and the end, because this will be the peak of yang, the peak of fire, and of the peak of water. Actually, it is this peak of water and peak of but if you can go back to the beginning, this actually would be the symbolism to mean that the beginning and the end, the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. So having these two signs is one of the key reasons why Jia is considered to be the king, because Jia is normally deemed to be the first, the very first stem, and also the king, I mean, as in, if you go and refer to Chiman Tung Chia, the Chia is basically the king, the hidden one. And that brings about the noble. And so what happens here? Is that the reading essentially means it will dispel. So being the noble, it will dispel the clash. It will dispel the clash. It will dispel the clash. Therefore, we would not read the clash. We wouldn't read the clash. As we wouldn't read the clash and the combination, we would not read or mitigate the destruction. So these negative effects are mitigated. These negative effects are reduced. So the destruction and the clashes will not be read to be a strong effect or damaging effect, having this very good combination. So anyway, this article, this author actually considered that. We have a 肾, so therefore water combination. Excellent, quick. So if this for anybody with this chart, this year will be the arrival of the dragon, isn't it? Therefore, to form the water trinity. And water is useful. Water is useful for this day master. It represents greater resource that comes in. All right. So anyway, this chart or this case is meant to say that without the querent, the chart would then be read to be quite negative, having disruptions and clashes. But then, of course, with the introduction of querent to indicate that this chart so happens that the day master is Jia, and these two happens to be the noble. So therefore, the clash is mitigated. So coming back to the same has been also Ronald Reagan. So for Ronald Reagan, we can also consider that these are the useful noble combined together. So therefore, this one is being dispelled. So they are mitigated. So we consider that it will be mitigated. And the arrival of the monkey, when the monkey clashes with the tiger, it may also be considered to be mitigated. Because at the end of the day, noble people helps you to get out of jail. Therefore, it will help you to get out of clashes, help you to get out of destruction, and uh, to provide protection that comes in. Provide protection. In a way, you can also consider that Ronald Reagan, there was an attempted assassination. She was shot and wounded in an assassination attempt. He survived. That was 1981. And in 1981, that will be quite at the tail end of a lot pillar. So therefore, 1981 happens to be the year of the rooster. And rooster is also the other querent. It's also another of the Tianyi querent. So therefore, this may be read that being attempted in an assassination in the year of your nobleman, the year of the nobleman, the outcome can be quite. Now, once again, nobleman doesn't mean you are again. It is a life-changing experience, but at least the outcome is always quite positive. As it is. Gavin says, there mitigation for. Oh, it's applicable for other types as well, Gavin. It's also applicable for other types, all the queries. It's also so it mitigates. Uh, so okay, maybe you can consider querying something like an exception card, exemption card. No, one of those do not go to jail, get a free pass kind of a thingy. So therefore, that's where the useful people comes in one. All right, so there you go. So this will be 2 chapters down. So chapter 22 and chapter 23 of our series will be covered for this week's sharing. All right, if not, then I'll see you next week as we continue with all the other Shunsha's and we then complete this series as much as we can. And of course, the rest all will be all the others all the same. Yeah, some of them will be quite easy to come. All right, Kim Tae, I hope so. Actually, I think I got more free kong than anything else. Okay, so good night. Thank you. Or good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. See you next week then. Thank you. Okay, Devo, nice meeting you. Bye.